here I've got a blender and blender. Just very basic model. I promise I can do better. This was like a skin set or sort of thing for a game that I like playing. These are actually modeled in. I don't know why, it's just got bored. This was kind of abandoned, but it's kind of what that does. There's whatever the heck this is. There's this guy, which I actually used in one of my things. This is like another skin for another thing in a game that I like playing. So then there's this, which this was like just a little skull and like some extra prop things. Kind of failed. This was supposed to be a basket full of cats, but I was new and didn't know how to model a cat. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely something. I tried to make like another 3D model thing. It also didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it to. What is this, brute? Oh yeah, I tried modeling a character I drew. It worked for the most part. In fact, yeah, I did this, which these shapes change by not changing at all. I don't know what this is. Oh yeah, this was an animation I made. You can find this on my channel. But yeah, it's just... Yeah, I made this for shits and giggles. That's why it's called bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, it was just... I don't know what the hell this thing is. On to a way better one. The thing, but I'm pretty sure if I do that, yep. And it like turns into like a bus or something. I don't know. I just really like Transformers and wanted to incorporate it into a game. My friend actually, my friend actually sends me these like blueprints almost to make these models off. I don't know. My friend sends me these models or these blueprints, and I modeled them. And this was like the first ever version of that, where he like printed it out and it actually did look cool. And then there's I tried to make like a rig for this, but it didn't exactly work. It definitely worked with the leg, because like, you know, it moves right now and stuff, but like the rest, it doesn't move along with the body, like, yeah. But this was, again, for a game. You know, I might as well just say it. It's for a game on Roblox called Tower Defense Simulator, which is like, you know, tower defense. And basically these are a lot of the concepts that I have for it. And this is like one with a robot with my character that I made. Yeah, and then there's like whatever the heck this TV thing is with all these cords connecting to its back. And like this, there's definitely a better way to do whatever I did because it sucks. I think, yeah, this is an entirely new one. I made this on Procreate, I'm pretty sure. Sorry. And this was the models that I tried to make imitating this. As you can see, it didn't exactly turn out the best, but it definitely was ahead of my time when I made this, because I actually put like a decent amount of effort into this. Here, I can drag out the this model for you. This was the model, which I actually was quite proud of back when I made it, because it looked pretty heckin' complicated, right? Like, obviously it would probably move like around the pivot point or something, and it would like I could like do stuff or something with it. But yeah, that's I definitely put a lot more effort into this model design than probably the whole thing, but, you know. Pool clock. Oh yeah, this one was also on my channel with all these things. Set that at EV really quick. But yeah, this is all I did, just a basic countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turret design. This one is like one I'm very proud of, or in terms of like concept wise, because like it was a really cool concept I had back then, where it like fires one and then it like comes out, spins around, and comes back in. All of these tweening parts are actually added in by me. The computer doesn't do that. It just does that thing where it like moves it. It does auto smooth it, which I'm quite good for. What's the term? It's tweening, I think, when like a bunch of frames are more towards the end to sort of slow it down almost. But yeah, I was quite proud by how like the movement here on the big part influenced the one in the center. It probably doesn't mean anything to you guys, but like, yeah, it was pretty cool. This was also one of the first models I made, because I was inspired by a YouTuber named Danny. He was making a game called Carlson, and he wanted to learn Blender that fast, and I'm like, oh, cool, he did all of this, and that's what inspired me to just learn Blender. Anywho, this was another model made by my friend, or sent by my friend, and then I made it. Version 4, I think, where it turned out to be definitely blockier. What is this? There is no animation player. Is it because I'm in the wrong thing? Nope, that's just it. This is one that is also, because these are named and not timed, some of these are like out of order. But like, this is like a crane enemy that I decided to be like a part of like my thing, but like I set up the rotation in a way where it like actually closes synchronized with each other. Like there's these and here and the whatnot, and I did parent everything to one another. So like you have this thing which is able to do that, this thing which can go extend, and this which extends as well. And like the whole thing rotates here and rotates on the side, like woo, with like the legs being super long and like dwindly for me to do that. By the way, a thing I did discover, not while making this, I just didn't want to spend the time, was that I can actually lock the rotation. That way any rotation I did do had no way to influence the other one. The same thing with like movement, like all of a sudden I can't move this upwards anymore, so I can just like move this way over there or something. These were also a part of, oh wait, no, these ones are actually a little bit newer. These were just made for like a game that I want to make, almost. Yeah, I want to be a game developer, but I thought that I'll use what I know right now with the modeling and such to just make basic props, and jumble of letters which is actually a model, which is all one thing for some reason. I do not know why I made it one model, but I did make a robot model thing almost. On to the next jumble of letters. Oh, this is a thing, definitely. The animation I'm making right now, this is inspired off of, I actually have the main inspiration here somewhere. Is definitely not the best quality for sure, but like it's definitely, you can see sort of the inspiration here. You'll see it better if I like bring my, because I've drawn these characters a lot, and you'll definitely see it better if you like were somewhere else. Like, there we go. But yeah, it was based off of those, and it was, this model is going to be used in my horror game for a enemy design. And there's Cube Droid, I think. Yeah, there we go. I tried to make one of those model things where it's like there's a circle and you can like control it to do stuff. Definitely one major downside that I have when creating stuff is that I get way too technical. Like, I start thinking, alright, how is this gonna work, rather than, hey, let's make something. This is for a piece. Like, I haven't really done, like, I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons. I do, definitely, but, like, it's definitely something that I have not been doing and really want to. So, as to almost, like, prepare myself, I made, like, a little piece for it, and it's just this little...
excuse me, what's the actual
there was this drone test, which you'll also see on my, channel, with this, and this was before I figured out you could set, texture to be a certain, like, way. Like, if I suddenly, like, well, I could show you an example, later with some of my newer models. This was, I have this little, robot here called Emo, and I loved the way that his legs function. Like, here, if I quickly grab up thinking guy, but this is what he looks like. The way this guy works, that I was super intrigued by his legs. I actually have him here. He's just deactivated because of a weird bug, but like his feet like turn around this pivot point, and then they turn like on the z-axis, using Blender terms, to sort of like move, and like yeah, if you see, this is like I just found this a really creative way of like moving around, so much that I just straight up made a new guy. I don't know what I was smoking, but why is she built like that? It does not deserve to see the light of day. This was one that I actually made. Yeah, let's move on to a way better one. This one I actually made for my portfolio again, but basically it's this character, and his arm like turns into the weapon. Like it unloads. It's here somewhere. Like, you see that little cluster right there? That's the hand. You know, I just sort of shrunk it down for purposes of this and made it that, and it's all animated too, with all this backward swaying motion being perpendicular, just being slightly offset with others. And also, I had no idea how to make see-through things, so it's just a background that's glowing with a texture, and then these things on it. And here's actually the other model, which I kind of just saved for purposes of not losing. And yeah, you can see that different parts are connected to each other. There is no rig on this because I still do not know how to do that. But basically, I just parented one thing to another, trying my best to make sure everything makes mostly some kind of sense. But yeah. And one thing here is that if I like go into solid, is that everything is kind of like jittering about, because it's to show that it's like functional. Like, this is a pipe here that's like jittering from all the steam or something going through it, and here, and like, sorry, hold on, this camera is like, whoops, this camera is like really bugged here. And then there's like the engine in the middle that's moving. And this guy was actually made already by this, which was way over here with, I think there might have been some modifications somewhere. I do not know where, but there definitely were some modifications. And just don't ask about this guy. This is like me trying to model my character, and it definitely did not go start easy, because like this is pointy, this is like flat and stuff, this is like just directly on the head. The note is nice, I guess, and the body is just like this, and the whole thing clips through, and it's real bad. This is actually better, but it was very low poly and low quality. I actually like the cutesiness of it, but again, I literally made a better one. This was a character I made where his whole point was basically being an ancient robot with these really unproportionate limbs and this massive sword that I wanted to just separate from the rest of the body, because like, damn, this guy's massive. And you can see he has like this freaking Crusader helmet, whatever, and this like fluff thing. I have a very specific way of doing it where I just deselect everything, go into vertex mode, select random, and then I like Alt S, which does it in a very weird and specific way, and then just like expand, deselect everything, and Alt S, and then shrink it. If I don't deselect everything, it'll just keep it select when I do it again. So, and then there's like in the middle, he's got like this rib cage thing with this cross in the middle, and like a, I don't know, a crotch blocker, whatever the heck those things are for. I do not know why they have them, but it's definitely there for some kind of reason. These were meant for joint purposes, but I did not know how to model hands, and yeah, fan. So I've got fan, there's farmer, which I think I just made this. The first model I ever made, like officially, with it being all these crates and stuff, and it's really basic. This, which is the first version of things. By the way, this is again an earlier version, and it like really sucks. The drill, I can definitely confirm, is like really nice. Like I had this whole thing where it would like spin, this would spin that way and this would spin the other way. Food, this is again made with topology because I didn't want to import all this texture with, by the way, I made using a program called Piskel. This is again for a game that not I'm making, but for tower defense with a new game mode. And basically it's like this one where all of these things are forgotten almost, so they turn to stone and have this weird symbol thing on them almost. So like there's the normal, there's the fast with missing an arm, and instead of having armor of one log, this actually being engraved into the stone creature thing and like wrapped around in bandages with these like anchored down into them. This guy was definitely something. He's supposed to turn into this guy, which is like amalgamation of past and present and wilderness and like machinery and stuff. I do not know. All I know is that these guys have names. They're Forgotten's, Recent, Discarded, Wrath was this guy, and this was like his phase 2. This guy had like the massive cracks and like these slash marks and like this pickaxe on him that I parented, that way he can move around. And this was like his phase 2 with the trees. I honestly don't know what I did for the trees, because that's how messed up it probably was. This cable was all connected, and it was just bad, and there was like just camera all around, just very messy. I did model this axe thing though, and personally I do like how it turned out. This was called like a shiver or something. This was a cage, which if you probably thought it was the Minecraft mob spawner, because it was. That's exactly what this thing was based off of, and it was just like this little robot that just kind of has these legs that surprisingly actually turn at this bolt screw pivot point thing, and it like turns and stuff, and the whole concept was really cool, and I actually am still gonna use this idea. Released is what this guy spawns, almost, with like the spear. I don't know why the chains are so gosh darn thick. This was supposed to be like a jester almost, kind of being wooden instead of stone, with like these wooden toy features. This guy was definitely interesting. He was called the Converter thing, and he basically turned into this thing. Whoa. I did not expect to be that high quality. I was expecting a freaking sphere, this or something. I was expecting like that with the triangle out, but I forgot I actually made this as just like a little piece thing for like, again, like D&D almost. With my friend, the one who makes the knives, can actually 3D print them, and this guy could possibly be 3D printed. But that was definitely a Gherkinator. Cause yeah, okay, my voice is like gurky. So I'm just gonna get a quick thing. Oh, my voice feels much better now. God, that was cringe. I hate it. I don't know what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to make that dance. Yeah. I don't know what I just made here. I definitely missed a major part of the things. Here's hacks. I think. I don't know why that's there. Oh yeah, because that's in the texture file. Yeah, I just don't question my ways. But yeah, this guy was like a warden of sorts, so he has like this weird little helmet. I don't know why this is so low quality, but this is like such, yes, circle galore. God, that would destroy a game within like seconds. This is a transformer. Watch this. Here's a hot chocolate blend I made. Or just like a little animation. This was before I even discovered parenting. Like this, that's what this model was. Hot chocolate 2, which is when I reinvented or rediscovered the parenting system with this whole skadadagada. And I made it way fancier, with the chair being way goofier. For sure. Like, look at this thing. But yeah, he's just kind of... This is definitely like way fancier, I guess. Definitely made apparent with the attire. Human being, there we go. Here's the better model with the extremely long feet. Idle animation test. Oh yeah, this was another character design product thing. But yeah, these are the animations with the model spares because I didn't want to lose it. Moving on, we have this thing. Which, I'm gonna be honest, I think I over-engineered the feet a little bit, but it's definitely a thing. I think this was me trying to get ready to model something, but I definitely stopped because I do not even remember making this. This is part of the Jester guy. This is the newer class. This is definitely a part of him. What's behind it? A thing that's based off of another guy that I scrapped. This is an example of me discovering you can use lights in Blender and stuff. So yeah, and if you actually used where is it? cycles instead of EV, it would actually affect everything else, which you cannot tell me this doesn't look cool. This is a drum set. Oh right, I made this creature back in grade 8 called loot crab. Basically, it's a species of crab that burrows into rock with like hardened shell pincer things, and like the whole thing about him is that like he eats minerals, and like because of his digestion system, instead of just like pooping out minerals or something and like hurting his body, they actually get absorbed into his shell, and then he hardens and becomes more tough and stuff. Mech thingy majiggy. Oh, this is definitely a concept. So picture this. It's wartime. You see like a giant robot thing heading towards you like this. What do? Well, you do what any humanoid thing you do and shoot it in the face, because that's where all the brain matter is. And other than in mechs, with it being in the cockpit, in the body, some people with a robot being this size, they'd think, oh, there's probably someone hurled up behind the mask. But as you can see, this is actually not attached to anything because this is a model. But also this was a basically like a fool sort of thing. This was a fake mask with fake tech in the back, and it's actually here. The cockpit was in the body, and he actually walks like this bird thing with like this, and he's got like these weird feet abilities or some weird thing, or however the heck this guy walks. Yes, I made these creatures called mechanicalists. They're creatures for Minecraft because I just wanted robots in Minecraft. Military base concept skin. I think this was an earlier version of the one I showed you with these tank treads following them. This is actually a lot better and higher quality because like there isn't any weird like flappy bits that just slap the floor. And this time I basically just straight up copied it. This was the Minecraft mob idea. I was experimenting with the pixels and stuff, and this is horrible topology because anyways, as you can see, it's supposed to be like this pillar that turns into this golem. Here's a snake. Here's another game that I also like playing. It's called Deep Rock Galactic. And basically I saw this thing where it's like a miniature pump, oil pump or something, that I saw, and I'm like, oh, why isn't there like a miniature version of this that could like be a little event? So I just did that. And then there's like these 4 bits, which was supposedly supposed to be like fuel to power this thing. And then there's like this whole spinny blade, which was way too flailed out. It's definitely supposed to look more like that, with a bigger drill, smaller bits. But yeah, and it's a person, which is actually a lot more high quality because it has booty cheeks. Oh dear, and it's actually not that bad. It has a canister. It's got this weird little brick head thing on it. This one has like things in it, and oh my god, this guy is massive. Yeah, that guy earlier with like the broken jaw, that's what this guy was supposed to be, and I think I was trying to figure out the scale, but I think honestly he's probably like this big if I consider my sketchbooks, because like his limbs are like very long and like mangly and stuff. And also, this is just a really bad model. His feet are like way too that way, and also this whole thing was just made in one. So yeah, I don't know what I was doing at all. Oh yeah, there's a YouTuber that I called, or that's called Orb, and I tried to make a little thing for them as like just a little fan art thing with like just this. And it's definitely something. It is indeed a person, I guess. It's basically supposed to be a farmer, but he's like a plushed up version, kind of like this. Project Reprogram was supposed to be an event for TDS that I had a concept of, but again, I don't know what to do for the model, because I don't know what look am I trying to go for, I guess, you know? One, that little contraption in the distance, but also this. This is for another skin idea, which I never finished, and probably never will. This is a very snazzy looking dude with a missing arm. This thing, which was very early on, this was like when I first got Blender, because like, when I first got Blender, I had this whole like, tutorial thing where it was like trying to make low poly models, and they specifically showed like this activate shadow, activate cavities and stuff, and set like it to both, and like set the valleys and stuff dark, and the things to be really bright, and like it looked like this. Speaking of ideas, here's a spider made of eyes. Oh god, I forgot I made it walk. Yeah, that's a spider. I don't know why I made this. Oh god, this thing is atrocious. Yeah, no. Okay, oh. This is just surprisingly not as bad with like the flat robot head and the stuff doing. I think this is a much better thing, because this one is the transformer that turned into a helicopter. That was made after this one, because I don't know, I got inspired, but this one was a lot more coordinated. There was a lot more planned to actually transform and stuff. There was a bit of clipping there in the arms, but overall it was trying to like push itself over. So I don't know why it immediately went for the crotch shot, but here's a character from DRG again, and made as skins this time, and I tried to do it. It actually did work, but the plate where like that's like guarded, the crotch plate, definitely didn't turn out as intended. This is this, but way worse. Way worse. This is really bad. This was trying to block out, so this one is supposed to be bad. Yeah, this doesn't have any animation to it, does it? No, there is no animation. I think what I tried to use this model for was like the size scaling when I make maps eventually. Then there's the Grove. This was one done recently by the guy who wanted me to model these, and I just get the image, trace it out basically, do any adjustments he wants to it, and this is how it like turns out. I made him 3-dimensional. Whatever this design is, it was definitely bad. This was when I discovered a YouTuber who basically taught me how to make a transformer, and that's exactly what I did. This is what I was saying earlier with my character model being error. This is like lore-wise and stuff. Oh yeah, this was when I made a costume for Halloween, and I was trying to like figure out how to make it, and it looked something like this, where I would just go inside, and I'd stand with my head here, my butt there, and like my legs extruded down, and I just carry the whole thing. Whoa, this is actually one really well done, surprisingly. And I think this is the Transformer guy. Yeah, I think I made the car first, then like I had like a plan, like I specifically cut these parts up into the way they are, because I had a plan where like they all shift. I'd never really planned anything. I just wanted to have a robot mode and a car mode. And the point is to not use everything, but rather what they use in actual movies, where they get bits of the car and like fold it into oblivion, where they then slowly start replacing it with robots. But I kind of wanted to take a mixed approach where all the car parts are still there, with the wheel. It's kind of hard to see, but the wheel that's there kind of clips through and goes to the bottom of it, and it becomes like the feet almost. And of course there's something to like block that. And then it's just like I made the parts afterwards that are actually intended to be robot or something like that. And this is the head of the robot that I actually decided to make. I actually surprisingly like the mohawk design with the antennae. This is again for Timbit. Walk cycle. God, that's atrocious, except it's kind of not, because it still has the follow through. It just hangs really low. I had this whole like little music video planned where I make like a welcome to the internet, but like instead of that it's Minecraft themed. I don't ask why I was so suddenly obsessed with like Minecraft weird robot arm thingy. And this was like my first ever animation test. This was like the first thing, and it freaking sucks. I'd much rather look at this thing with all the things. I can actually explain this now. It's this is supposed to be the Militant tower with all these bits here and there, and it was like a skin concept where he was like intended to, lore wise, to be like a guard for something. So he's like covered in scrap to protect him, and he has like a gun that had to be fixed up with cans and metal and string, and like there's just a little sticky note on it. And he has like a backpack which is there, and then he eventually gets like a bit of camo on it, and then I think he gets like that little badge thing there. He gets glasses, he gets darker boots and thicker boots. I think he gets patched up on the knee, and then like he gets some scrap in his backpack or something. Next he gets more scrap. He gets more armor plating on him, because, like, you know, he's a guard. He has to protect things, so in order to protect, he has to actually be able to guard. He has a little medal that he made himself, and then, yeah, it's just metal. For some reason, again, I think I just had a stroke saying a sentence, but for some reason, the can of beans grows bigger, and it like gets a little spike through it. I don't know why. Then I don't think anything changes on this level. Then it like gets darker and stuff. He gets like a badge. He gets like one of those military caps that flop over. He gets like grenades and another badge. It actually upgrades from bronze to silver with like the badge, and like the metal eventually just like again upgrades to cover more bits. There's actually a shadow or a bandage around his patched up knee, sort of, and the metal is a lot darker. I don't know why the metal gets darker. I guess it just kind of didn't contrast well, but the max level definitely did not contrast well. You know, explain a bit of the lore. There's a canister in the back and more metal, and it's basically armored up. The lore for why he turns Hello Kitty, also darker beans. There's actually beans in the can, and there's a flashlight taped to it. The lore for why it's all Hello Kitty is that after like guarding a place and like, you know, in this apocalyptic zone, you can become more than just a guard. You can become like a hoarder almost, and like design yourself based on what you hoard. He collects Hello Kitty stuff because, I don't know, it's Hello Kitty. Who doesn't love Hello Kitty? It's a cat with a bow tie. I don't know why the can of beans turns pink though as a result, but it's definitely something. He turns pink. That's pretty much it. The metal stays black. The gold metal turns to gold rather than silver. There's Hello Kitty there, which is modeled out. Each individual face is like there, so it's model hell. So that's like very crappy, and he just gets like I don't know why the metal like darkens or anything. That was just like an aesthetic choice, I guess. But yeah, that's what this guy is, I guess. I think that was all the models I made, so I have to edit an hour and 45 minutes worth of things. Great.